Andy Pettitte.
He has an awful lot of tools to work with.
Fastball got him.
That's how good pitchers get good hitters out.
Nasty pitch right there by Andy Pettitte.
Pitching's all about making that big pitch.
He knows how to keep hitters off balance, and that's what it's all about.
What a Houdini performance by Andy Pettitte.
And then if you get on first base, you're probably going to get picked off anyway.
Pettitte throws and picks him up.
He's a great family man.
Dre, you got a good throw.
And yet part of his family are his teammates.
When we get a rundown, we go home.
When the team needed him most, when we were struggling, he used to always be the guy that got us out of it.
Andy Pettitte has been dominant.
He's a tremendous competitor. He likes to rise to the occasion.
Boy, do the Yankees need that.
We don't win without him. It's as simple as that.
Andy was the complete pitching package. For 15 seasons, he took the mound for the Yankees, and the men who faced him remember those years as difficult times.
Andy Pettitte, man. Andy Pettitte is like a surgeon. He's up there trying to have surgery on players, especially right-handed hitters.
He struck him out swinging.
The guy just didn't bend. He was fixated on getting people out, and he did.
Swung on him at strike three. And that's Andy Pettitte at his best right there.
It was always a privilege and an honor, whether I was competing against him on the mound or to sit in the opposing dugout and watch him pitch.
Swing and a miss. Andy Pettitte striking out the side.
Andy Pettitte looks mighty sharp out here this afternoon.
He looks menacing on the mound. He's got that look, and he's perfected it. You got the eyes creeping out above the glove. That brim of the hat tilted just so all you see are his eyes staring out at you.
That familiar look. Just over the edge of the glove, just under the bill of the cap.
He's a professional pitcher that studies the game and he analyzes situations and how to get guys out.
If you look under the definition of a pitcher, you see his pitcher there because he knows how to keep hitters off balance, and that's what it's all about.
Pettitte really knows how to set up a hitter and how to finish them off. That's why he's one of the best pitchers in the league.
Intimidation and moxie are certainly part of Pettitte's game. But to win in the major leagues, you need more than that. You need good stuff.
He has an awful lot of tools to work with.
Beautiful pitch by Pettitte.
He cuts fastballs, he runs fastballs. He's got a good breaking ball. He's got a good changeup.
Off-speed pitch, cut on and missed.
And he uses all of those pitches anytime.
I'm a right-handed hitter, so I'm telling you what he does to right-handed hitters. He throws that cutter in and then change-ups away, curveballs back door. I got you, Andy, but I can't hit you. I'm sorry.
When Andy's on his game, you'll often hear one word.
He struck him out swing. Cutter. In.
A cutter is a nasty fastball that abruptly cuts inside and cuts down hitters along the way.
Just moves in on you if you're a right-handed hitter. Just a devastating pitch.
As a hitter, you know what's coming, and you still have problems with it. And people pretty much know he's going to throw it, and they still struggle with it.
Swing and a miss on the cutter, set up beautifully by Pettitte.
But even with all those tools, the most dangerous part of Andy's arsenal never crosses the plate.
He has so many ways of beating you. He has a lot of weapons he can go to. And then if you get on first base, you're probably going to get picked off anyways.
Pettitte butts again and picked off a runner at first base.
Pettitte's pickoff move is better than anything else you could ask for as far as keeping other teams honest.
Once you have the reputation of a good pickoff move, you don't have to throw over that often. The runners will stay close.
For that split second, the guy on first doesn't know if he's coming home or if he's coming to first. And that split second, that's when he's got you.
Isn't it amazing that all the teams know about it and he still freezes runners?
It's one thing to possess the talent that Andy Pettitte does. It's quite another to use that talent to win when your team needs you the most.
If you could pick a pitcher, I think, that you wanted to send out there whenever your ball club had a 2 or 3 game losing streak, it was Andy Pettitte.
We look at Andy Pettitte, who has been lights out after a Yankee loss.
Andy's pitching to win. That's the bottom line.
Pettitte's job is to win ball games. He produces wins for his team.
When the stakes get higher, Andy gets better. And you always have to have that stopper because that's how you roll off a lot of wins during the course of the season.
What a pitching performance by Andy Pettitte.
When Andy took the hill, I believe that guys on that team had additional spring in their step because they knew, hey, you know what? We lost last night. Pettitte's on the hill tonight. We're going to take it. Bang, next series, here we go.
Every time Andy Pettitte is put in these situations, he wins.
The guy's a winner. He's just a winner.
Heritage. Long before he became a Yankee, Andy was born in Louisiana, though he considers Deer Park, Texas, the place he learned to play baseball.
Well, this is the house I grew up in, right here. I lived here from age 10 years old and lived here, obviously, until I went on and signed with the Yankees. My dad would, catch me right here. I had a little portable mound that I would put on the side of the house right down there.
I just wanted to emphasize the proper mechanics of what you're supposed to do, how to hold a ball, just the basic stuff.
We would come out here when he'd get off work, and I'd play catch with him and throw to him.
Andy's hours of practice with his father soon began to pay off, for no one in the neighborhood wanted to face him.
I can remember when he would pitch, some of the kids would come up to him and say, Miss Pettitte, is Andy going to pitch today? And if I say, yeah, they go, because he was pretty good at striking them out even at a young age.
This is where it all starts. You put yourself, right here when you're pitching, you're thinking you're in Game 7 of the World Series, and this is where it all started for me.
Pettitte also began to practice his faith in Deer Park, in a place of worship he has since helped grow bigger and stronger.
Well, this is my church that I belong to. I've been going here since I was 15 years old. It's a very special place to me. This is where I met my wife.
We met when I was actually in 8th grade. Andy was a sophomore in high school, and a friend, just an old friend of mine, brought him to church to meet me.
We've been together ever since, and my faith is very important to me, and this church is a very, very important piece of my life.
Scholastic baseball was also a big part of Andy's young life, and he pitched Deer Park High to within one win of the state championship.
This is where I played high school ball for, the 2 years that I was on the varsity. I got to play here on this baseball field.
The Yankees took notice and drafted Andy in 1990. But he chose to go to San Jacinto Junior College, the same Houston school that another Texas pitching legend and Andy's future teammate also attended.
Roger was not considered as good a prospect out of high school as Andy was. Andy was considered a very good prospect, and he had come to my camps at San Jac when he's 15 years old. We were familiar with him, and he decided to come to San Jac.
Coach Graham is an unbelievable motivator. He's unbelievable at getting the best out of people. He was extremely hard on me.
I told Andy that one thing he was going to have to do if he wanted to be a Major League Baseball player was to really condition himself hard.
He made me whip myself into shape and really start focusing on trying to get my body strong.
He really gained a few miles on his fastball that year and just really, I think, progressed as a pitcher.
After just 1 year with the Gators, Pettitte signed with New York. He had winning records in each of his 4 full minor league seasons, finishing at 42-20. And when injuries rattled the Yankees' rotation in the spring of '95, he got the call.
I had a great spring training that year. Melito Perez and Jimmy Key got hurt early on, and it gave me a chance to step into the rotation.
On May 27th, Andy made his first start and went on to post an impressive record of 12-9 his rookie year.
I was the only rookie on the team, and you have to get the respect of the veteran players.
One of the things that really impressed me about him was no matter what I put down, he had the confidence to throw all 4 pitches. To see that in a young pitcher was very rare.
Andy's 6-1 record down the stretch helped the Yankees make the playoffs for the first time in 14 years. Just like that, he was at the forefront of a Yankee tradition, postseason play.
It up, center field, not deep. So the rookie in his first postseason start retires the Mariners in order.
Pettitte pitched 7 solid innings in his postseason debut and even got the chance to send future base runners a warning.
3-2 the count, runner at first and 1 out. Got him picked off.
The Yankees lost to Seattle in that division series, but they knew they had a winner in the big, strong kid from Deer Park, Texas.
You watch his work, how he threw, what he did to prepare. You watched all of that, and then you knew that you had a good quality pitcher in Andy Pettitte.
Following his successful rookie season, Pettitte came to spring training in 1996 realizing he'd have to impress a brand new manager. But Joe Torre was immediately struck by Pettitte and knew he'd be a key part of the team.
He just looked like he was very responsible and really got your trust early on.
In fact, Joe trusted Andy so much, he bestowed upon him an honor usually reserved for a more seasoned performer.
You go back to 1910 with the memorable Hippo Vaughn was the only pitcher younger than Andy Pettitte to start on opening day.
Anytime someone gets an opportunity to pitch the first game at Yankee Stadium, and then let alone a young pitcher, it's a huge honor. I remember that game was just snowing.
The home openers there are so special. Those are just special moments that you'll never forget.
As the season evolved, Pettitte began to emerge as the team's most dependable starter.
As a starting pitcher, as a competitor, that's what you hope for. You can be a guy that the team counts on, and I mean, that's all I've ever tried to do. That's all I've ever wanted to do.
Broke the bat. Pettitte will hold the runner at third and get the runner at second. The return is in time. What a play by Andy Pettitte. He turns the double play and holds the runner at third.
He was the kind of guy every time that we needed a big win, or we had like 2 or 3 game losing streak, he was able to stop it. We always joked about it. Andy, you're our stopper. Mo's good, Wetland's good, but you're our stopper.
Andy's clutch performance all year long bore fruit in Oakland when he reached the benchmark every pitcher hopes for.
3-2 pitch, and Giambi is out on strikes.
Pettitte had secured a 20-win season in his second year as a Yankee. But as you might expect, he shared the glory.
As far as the numbers, I'm very happy with the year that I've had, and I couldn't have done it without the bullpen that we've got. They've done an unbelievable job all year long, and you know, it's just a special feeling.
I was happy to see him win the 20 games. I think I was more happier when he won it than when I won mine.
It was nice to finish with an American League best 21 wins. But more importantly, he led the Yankees to their first division title in 15 years.
The New York Yankees are the 1996 American League Eastern Division champions.
The Yankees battled hard to beat the Texas Rangers in the division series. It was on to the LCS. And it was there Andy held the Yankees' fate in his hands.
They can smell a trip to the World Series. Fastball got him.
As he had done all season long, Pettitte delivered.
I was able to pitch the game to put us into the World Series, so that was, you know, extremely special for me.
It was a great effort, really, especially on 3 days rest. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, Andy.
But the glow of pitching the first Yankees Fall Classic opener since '81 was soon lost when Andy's world began to spiral out of control.
A sellout crowd is on hand to watch the Braves and the New York Yankees battle in Game 1 of the 1996 World Series. For friends, it's goosebumps time.
I started Game 1. I got killed, 23 years old, and I was a nervous wreck.
It's 2-0 Braves, and it's 4-0 Atlanta, 5-0 Atlanta. Andy Pettitte trying to get through 3 innings here in the first game.
I felt like that I had ruined our whole opportunity to win a World Series because I, blew the first game.
But rather than dwell on his failure, Andy used Game 1 as a learning experience, and it paid off big time in Game 5, with the series now tied at 2 games apiece.
The winningest pitcher in the American League facing the winningest pitcher in the National League.
We kind of beat him up the first time we faced him, and he made the adjustments necessary and shut us down. And he was just not going to give in.
To Pettitte, his throw to third.
He beat the Braves 1-0 in Game 5 to give us a 3-2 lead. When you do things like that, you never have to prove yourself again.
Pettitte worked a masterful 8 1/3 shutout innings, and the Yankees were 1 win away. Which they got 2 nights later.
Yankees are the '96 World Champions!
What you dream of as a child and what you worked so hard for that whole year, it finally happened.
Andy Pettitte fell too short of another 20-win season in '97 and had earned the distinction as one of the best left-handers in the game.
Such a young age to be able to have that much success, it was definitely neat.
I think what people kind of forget was there was a cranky elbow from June of '96 on, and that signifies to me what this guy's all about, that he wins games because he competes as well as anybody.
Like any pitcher, Andy gave up his share of hits, but those who reached base against him found it hard to stay there.
It's not just his pitching, competing at home plate. He's got a good idea what he's doing at first base as well.
Andy Pettitte, the best pickoff move in the majors.
I sure wish I could take some credit for improving his pickoff move that he had. He had such a good pickoff move from the first time that I saw him.
Some kind of good move that youngster's got.
He started working on that move when he was 15 years old.
Everything's the same when he comes up, comes down, and then at the last minute, obviously, he's going home when he's going to first base. It's tough to read.
I've seen some guys with some good moves, but he's got the best.
I really believe that it's just a God-given talent, for me to be able to have a good pickoff move.
The key to the pickoff move is hanging that right leg in the air. It's phenomenally effective in stopping a running game.
That great pickoff move from Andy Pettitte works again.
The Yankees returned to the World Series in '98, but as Pettitte was about to sweep the Padres aside, his heart was back in Texas.
His father was having some heart problems, and Andy was very worried about his father, as any son would be.
Real life intervening. Father Tom underwent bypass surgery in Texas.
The only thing I really remember about that series is taking the mound with a heavy heart, and just, thinking about him and knowing that I had 25 guys on that team that were counting on me.
His teammates knew of Pettitte's pain and stood strong beside him. Andy managed to maintain his focus and shut the Padres down.
The 2-2. Up the middle, Rivera robbed by Derek Jeter.
It's got to be very difficult for someone to go out there and perform at this level when they have family members' health on their mind. And you have to be pretty focused, and Andy was that way.
It'll be a 2-2 to Hernandez, and Pettitte deals. Struck him out swinging curveball. Andy Pettitte turns in a terrific performance here tonight. Fighting back a smile. And the Yankees have done it again. Number 24.
Emotionally, I was pretty much a wreck, and it was more just afterwards. It was like,
we know the story about your father with bypass surgery last week. What do you want to say to him?
I know he's at home with a big smile right now, and I love you, and we're coming home to see you.
Well, Andy's father did recover, and as the decade came to a close with still another Yankees championship, there was no doubt that Pettitte was now among the game's pitching elite.
You look at those numbers, when you talk about the backbone of that pitching staff in the mid-'90s, it was Andy Pettitte. He was that good, he was that effective.
Thanks to his relentless work ethic, Andy had one of his finest seasons in 2000, finishing 19-9.
Andy Pettitte has been dominant.
It was also in 2000 that Andy reached a pitching milestone.
On the corner, call, strike 3.
The winning pitcher is Pettitte, his 100th victory of his career.
Pettitte became the first pitcher since Ron Guidry to win 100 games in a Yankee uniform. And for Andy, the connection with Gator went beyond even that.
That was awesome. I mean, all the years that I was there, they always talked about Ron and was able to form a relationship with him. Gator's from Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana. We always kind of had that little tie to one another.
Naturally, you have a bond with him because he's left-handed. I enjoyed talking to him quite often. He just asked for advice, which was always fun for me. But you saw the type of pitcher you had here. You knew that you had a good quality pitcher in Andy Pettitte.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Andy Pettitte.
Andy had a solid postseason in 2000, climaxing with a classic crosstown battle the first in New York since 1956.
But now the stage is set for the Subway Series between the Yankees and Mets.
New York, New York! Subway Series!
That was crazy. You had your Mets fans. You had your Yankees fans. And it was all about the fans. The Yankee fans and the Mets fans are just so passionate about the game and how important this is to the city that we had to win. We could not lose to the Mets.
But Andy knew all about the pressure of postseason play, and once again he thrived, reinforcing his standing as a big-game pitcher.
Pettitte, he has a 5-game postseason winning streak, and he has been here before. He's pitched the clincher for the Yankees on an occasion already in 1998, so Pettitte will try and play that role again here tonight.
What a pitching performance by Andy Pettitte.
Another great team effort. That was a fun time to be able to play in that atmosphere, and obviously to be able to win. It was extremely special.
Come his 7th Major League season in 2001, Andy reached still another milestone.
Andy Pettitte making his 200th Major League start.
Andy Pettitte was a guy who, for the most part, was always healthy, was always consistent, and put the Yankees back to the postseason and try to get another championship.
And it was in the League Championship Series where Pettitte got the ball for the opener against a team that tied the Major League record for the most wins in a season.
Andy Pettitte, a very familiar figure on the mound in postseason play.
They had an outstanding lineup, and you wanted to throw Andy against the lineup that was the toughest, because the big games against big clubs, he's always dominated.
Nasty pitch right there by Andy Pettitte. Gone swinging is Ichiro.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. This guy's a tremendous competitor, and he likes to rise to the occasion. He's got good stuff. He doesn't rattle on the mound. Double play, and the side is retired.
It was one of Andy's best ever postseason games. 8 innings, 1 run, 3 hits.
It was a great start out there at their place and was able to put us up a game.
Then in Game 5 of the series, Andy pitched another dandy, and the Mariners were history.
And the Yankees have won their 38th American League pennant.
By winning both starts and sporting a 2.51 ERA, Pettitte was named the MVP of the LCS.
And I'd never won any kind of awards like an MVP, so that was extremely special.
But so quickly baseball fortunes turned, and Andy went on to lose both starts against Arizona in the World Series.
Everything that was going on with 9/11, the people of New York, how much hurt that they were going through. To be able to go into that World Series and pitch as poorly as I did, I felt like that we lost the World Series because of me.
It hurts. It bothers him because he takes everything to heart. He feels he let the other 24 people down.
Pettitte looked to erase the bad memories of the previous year when he pitched the 2002 opener, and the magic numbers kept on coming Andy's way.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. And that's Pettitte's 1,000th career strikeout.
Soon after, though, the durable lefty suffered an elbow injury and was lost for 2 months. But Andy came back strong in the second half, anchoring the staff and winning 11 of his last 13 decisions.
Andy Pettitte pitches a complete game shutout, a 3-hitter.
You know, was thankful that I was able to step right back in and be able to give us some quality starts and help us in a positive way that year.
But then the Yankees fell to the Angels in the division series and were denied their 5th straight trip to the World Series.
Every year we just assumed we were going to be playing in the World Series. We couldn't believe that we literally had lost.
In 2003, Andy matched his career high with 21 victories. And come the playoffs, the savvy southpaw went 2-0 in 3 starts to help the Yankees return to the Fall Classic.
Welcome to Game 2 of the 2003 World Series.
I can't tell you how many times I watched, Game 2 Yankees, and we're down 0-1. And you know what? You look at each other and you say, we're good to go. Andy's on the hill tonight.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and he strikes out the side.
Indeed, Andy baffled the Florida Marlins for 8 2/3 innings en route to the win.
The Yankees take Game 2.
He also pitched good enough to win Game 6, but it wasn't meant to be.
The Florida Marlins are the champions of the baseball world.
New York fans knew that Andy was about to become a free agent and let him know just how they felt.
The whole crowd started chanting Andy Pettitte. You know, I don't know if they thought I might leave or I might not, or if that was their way of saying don't leave, but that was extremely special for me. And it was almost like, oh man, they do like me.
Talent, heart, and faith brought Andy Pettitte success in New York, and he followed that same faith when he elected to return to his home state of Texas.
I never would have dreamed that I would have left there, but, you know, God had just closed doors there, and he opened doors in Houston. It was like, what in the world is going on? I mean, I can't believe I'm leaving New York.
We came up through the organization together, so we missed him. We wish he would have came back, but we understand he's real close with his family, want to be closer to home.
After an injury-shortened first season, Pettitte rebounded in 2005, going 17-9, while helping lead Houston to the Fall Classic for the first time in franchise history. The Astros trailed the American League champion Chicago White Sox 1-0 when Andy made his Major League record 34th postseason start in this, his 7th World Series.
He's the perfect candidate to pitch a pressure-filled Game 2.
He's the guy that we look to when we need a big game pitched, and when you're in that tight situation, he's the one you want on the mound.
Here's the pitch, and there's a swing and a miss. Swings and misses. Got a boy!
Go to first. Whoa!
Well, Scott picked him off over there at first base.
Pettitte left Game 2 with a lead, but the Houston bullpen came up short, and the Sox went on to sweep the series. Andy put a cap on his successful stint in Houston by posting his 12th consecutive winning season in 2006. In 2007, he decided to leave his child at home and return to his baseball home, New York.
We're excited, obviously, about this day. I'm very excited to welcome you back home.
I never would have dreamed that I'd be going back to New York. I felt like that I was really wanted up in New York again, and they really wanted me to come back up there and try to duplicate what we had done in the years past. Well, this is as official as it gets right here.
Everybody was really excited. You dream about having teammates like Andy Pettitte and having a horse like that on the mound.
We're extremely excited to be back, extremely excited to try to help this organization get another championship, and that's what I'm hoping to be able to help this organization achieve again.
Andy's first step toward achieving that goal came in the spring, when he immediately made his presence felt.
He was in spring training, and all of a sudden he took on this role as the leader in the clubhouse.
You know, pitching's all about making that big pitch,
90% of the game's half mental.
helping yourself relax, right, in that big situation. It's more about building relationships with guys I don't know. Let them know that I'm on their side, I care about them, I'm ready to work with them.
Also tell him always cover home. When we get a rundown, we go home.
He's one of the guys on staff that's been here, has had success here, and younger pitchers are going to listen to him because they know what he's accomplished.
Like I used to when I was young, I just sit there and try to see how many people I can pick off. I just hang. But now I'm, a lot more concerned with throwing a pitch.
And Andy has never lost sight of the fact that baseball is fun.
Be ready, you never know. Might turn and launch one at you.
He has a real good sense of humor.
Those are really nice shoes you got going today.
You like them?
With the metallic tips on your laces, it's a nice touch.
These are Air Pettittes.
When I tell him a few things about his schedules, about his work, he'll throw up a big front to make as if like it's too hard.
Sunday, no run day.
And then he'll laugh and he'll say, I'm just joking.
I'm joking.
Maybe Andy treats his teammates like family, because family is always on his mind.
Ready? Got me a good throw.
Andy's a great family guy. I mean, he really is. I couldn't ask for a better man to be the father of my children and to be my husband.
Just concentrate on me.
There you go.
Andy is a true family man. His family comes first, his wife, and then his kids, and then his job. Andy's got his priorities in the right order.
That's good, bud. You got good movement on it.
Who says you can't go home again? On April 5th, Andy returned to Yankee Stadium and got an unforgettable welcome.
You'd like to see him back.
It's easy for Yankee fans to embrace him because he represents part of their glorious past. He's the returning hero now. He's the conquering hero. And he's come home, and the fans are going to know how much they appreciate him.
The stadium is electric. It is alive. There are signs everywhere. Welcome home, Andy.
Well, that day that he stepped out to the mound, crowd was crazy.
And here comes Andy.
So nice for him.
That was extremely special for me.
It's just one of these just great magic moments.
It makes you feel good when you really feel like you've put your heart and soul into something and you've worked extremely hard and they really cared about you. So I hope I can give them a lot to cheer about.
There comes a... After getting off to a slow start in 2007, Andy Pettitte picked up the pace after the All-Star break.
When Andy came back to the Yankees, it was almost as if he had never left.
Caught on and missed. What a job by Andy Pettitte.
And a big part of that rotation and pitching so effectively for that team that was in the playoff run was a big point of Andy's career.
Andy finished the 2007 season winning 15 games, helping the Yankees win the wild card. But they fell to the Indians in the division series.
The Cleveland Indians have won this series in 4 games.
The following season, the Yankees missed the playoffs for the first time in Pettitte's pinstripe career. But Andy did have an opportunity to be part of something special when he was named the starting pitcher for the final game at the old Yankee Stadium.
Pitching number 46, Andy Pettitte, number 46.
The Yankees, wanted me to pitch that game. They wanted me to throw the last game at the old Yankee Stadium. And we had skipped my previous start before that to be able to make that last start.
And Andy managed to add some personal history to an already historic night.
Caught on him his high fastball.
That was strikeout number 2,000. That's why the applause is happening right now.
Just another great moment for me personally in my career, and feel very blessed and fortunate to be able to throw that last game.
In 2009, the Yankees went to work rebuilding the team, and the investment paid off as New York led the league in wins, runs, and home runs.
7 players with at least 20 home runs.
Andy continued his winning ways, collecting 14 victories while developing a leadership role with the new arms on the team.
He was huge for us all year, and I know he definitely helped me out a lot, and I know he helped AJ out a lot, and I call him the Godfather, so he's the leader of our pitching staff.
The Yankees won the American League East in impressive fashion, and in Game 3 of the division series, Andy pitched 6 1/3 innings of 1-run ball to complete the sweep of the Twins.
The Yankees are moving on to the American League Championship Series for the first time since 2004.
In the 2009 ALCS, the Yankees faced their playoff nemesis, the Los Angeles Angels, who had bounced the Bombers in 2002 and 2005. But this time was different, as Pettitte took the mound at Yankee Stadium, looking to close out the series in Game 6.
If Pettitte wins tonight, he will have the most wins of any pitcher in history in the playoffs.
After spinning 6 1/3 innings of 1-run ball, Andy's night was over and the fans showed their delight.
And a standing ovation for Andy Pettitte. Let's stay here and listen to the ovation that Pettitte gets.
I just had so much confidence and knew that if I just go out there and just do my job, I felt like that was going to be enough to usually get it done.
Indeed, Pettitte got the job done as the Yankees celebrated their 40th pennant and a trip back to the Fall Classic.
Ball game over. American League Championship Series over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
The Yankees faced the defending world champion Philadelphia Phillies in the World Series, and in Game 3, Trailing 3-2 in the fifth, Andy looked to help himself out at the plate.
Swung on and loop over short. It's going to dunk in for a hit. Swisher rounds third. The throw is going to be not in time. Swisher scores, and the Yankees have tied the game at 3.
We're going to have to listen to Pettitte now. He's been bragging about his hitting all year.
Anytime interleague rolls around, I like to joke around with him and let him know that I can hit.
Andy Pettitte with his 14th career RBI, and it couldn't have been bigger.
Andy threw 6 solid innings en route to an 8-5 Yankees victory. New York split the next 2 games, setting the stage for Pettitte to close out yet another series. And with his vast postseason experience, he instilled an unwavering belief among his teammates that he was up to the task.
I've played with Andy since I've been 18 years old in the minor leagues, and I've seen him pitch in every big game possible, whether it's game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it doesn't make a difference. And he's a guy we have the utmost confidence in. I don't care where we're playing, who we're playing. You know, we think that he can get the job done.
Here's a left-hander, Andy Pettitte, and his numbers this postseason: 4 starts, 3-0.
He's just such a stabilizing force and a veteran who has been through the World Series before. You know he was not going to be intimidated by the moment.
Struck him out swinging one away.
With the help of a monster night at the plate from Godzilla,
3 hits, 6 RBIs for Matsui in this game. What a performance.
Pettitte had all the run support he needed. After 5+ innings, he left the game with the lead and the undying love of the fans.
And this crowd will let Andy Pettitte hear it on his way off the field.
So the Yankees had a big lead. Andy Pettitte's off the mound. He gets the big ovation. The Yankees go on to win the World Series. It's just, it can't get more perfect than that.
The Yankees are back on top. World champions for the 27th time.
When you work a whole season, the ultimate goal is always that World Series. And whenever you're able to accomplish it, it's a great feeling. And it's a feeling of satisfaction, a feeling of pride of just, you know, to be able to work that hard and to get it done.
Pettitte definitely got it done in 2009, winning every clinching game in the postseason. But in 2010, he enjoyed a personal accomplishment, winning his 200th game as a Yankee on June 11th.
I'm just thankful that I had the ability to stick around that long, thankful that I was in an organization where they put such great players and teammates around me to help me be so successful, and I was a product of that.
Andy finished the 2010 season 11-3 with a 3.28 ERA. However, he and the Yankees fell to the Texas Rangers in the ALCS. It was a tough loss for the Yankees to stomach, but it paled in comparison to the announcement Pettitte made 4 months later. After the disappointing end to the 2010 season, 38-year-old Andy Pettitte made a stunning announcement in February. He was leaving the game he loved so much.
This is, you know, a day that I knew was obviously going to eventually come. I loved the game. I really didn't want to stop pitching. My family wanted me to keep going, but it was strictly a decision as me, as dad, as a husband. I felt like at that time I needed to be home.
In 2012, the Yankees invited Andy to spring training as a guest instructor. Being back on the diamond rekindled the passion Pettitte always had for the game.
After being home, I still had a desire to compete. I felt like I was too young to just be going home and wanting to play golf every day or whatever, you know. And so came back in 2012.
13 years with the Yankees, 5 world championships, and after a year off, he is back on the stadium mound.
I thought that it would kind of be just a 1-year deal, and ended up taking a line drive off my leg.
Off of Pettitte, and it hit him solid, and he goes down.
And breaking my leg and missing pretty much most of that year.
Andy Pettitte suffered a fractured ankle, and he is going to be out a minimum of 6 weeks.
That for sure wasn't the way that I wanted to end my career, so obviously came back for 2013.
The then 41-year-old southpaw returned with a flourish in 2013, collecting 2 significant career milestones. The first came on June 8th in Seattle, when Andy won his 250th game.
And a fastball in on Morse there, got him looking. Boy, impressive pitch there by Andy Pettitte.
I had been so successful. We had done so many great things. So those milestones were something that I kind of looked to try to push me and drive me through those last few years of my career.
For Andy Pettitte, career win number 250.
1 month later in Minnesota, Andy cemented his place in Yankees history by becoming the franchise strikeout leader.
Swing and a miss, and Andy Pettitte is now the all-time strikeout leader for the New York Yankees. That ball is being tossed to the dugout. He surpasses the chairman of the board, Whitey Ford.
When you talk Whitey Ford, you talk one of the greatest pitchers in history, not just Yankee history, one of the great winners. So if you pass him in any category whatsoever, obviously it's a big deal.
1,958 strikeouts for Andy Pettitte. Congratulations to Andy Pettitte.
As the 2013 season was coming to a close, Andy felt it would be his last in pinstripes. So on September 20th, the lefty from Texas made it official.
I really knew coming in, I mean, I was almost 100% coming into the season that this was going to be it.
Me leaving the first time and not being able to properly, let fans know how I felt about him and how much I appreciate him led to my decision, to announce that last month.
2 days later, Andy had his chance to say goodbye to the fans, taking the Yankee Stadium mound for the final time.
His career started in 1995, and this is the final moment he'll have on the stadium mound in the regular season.
The second half of my career, I guess I call it, coming back with the Yankees. But there was just so many special moments, and I'm so thankful that I was able to go back there. It was pretty cool to sit there and to watch it and be a part of.
Last time he tips his cap. This is just the way Andy wanted it.
Andy gave the fans the moment he denied them when he retired in 2011. 4 days after his Yankee Stadium farewell, he helped send off a teammate and friend who was also saying goodbye to the game.
How's this for drama?
Andy Pettitte and Derek Jeter are coming up to make the move.
What a great moment to be able to do that, to take him out, to spend that time with him, and to have that memory forever. And also just to be such great friends and what we have done together in our careers. That was just a really cool moment, and I'm so thankful that we walked out there and we pulled him out of that game. It was really cool.
What marvelous, marvelous drama. Wow.
That moment ended Mariano Rivera's career in pinstripes. But for Andy, he still had one last game to pitch. And as fate would have it, his final game in the big leagues would be the epitome of a home game.
The fact that Andy Pettitte, a kid from Deer Park, Texas, who comes to New York and has this great career with the Yankees, gets to finish his career in his hometown, there's just something cool and something charming about that.
From a team aspect of it, I hated that I was pitching that game because the plan was for me not to pitch that game because we were going to be going to the playoffs. Of course, we got eliminated a couple days before, and I wanted to pitch that last game.
He struck him out.
In the ninth, with the Yankees clinging to a 2-1 lead, the stage was set for Pettitte to end his career on a fairy tale note. All he needed was 3 more outs.
We are going to the bottom of the 9th inning, and Andy Pettitte is going to take the mound. The last time he pitched 9 innings, you have to go back to August 16th of 2006.
It almost seemed like a bad Hollywood script. Your last game ever is going to be in your hometown.
Fly ball right field. Almonte is there, 1 down.
Pitching for the Yankees, a team in which you started your career against the Astros, the only team that you pitched for other than the Yankees.
Driven out to right field. Almonte is there. 1 more out for Andy Pettitte to get in his career.
And for a guy who's up there in years, to spin a complete game, it was really perfect.
Grounded to third, this could be it. Nunez across the diamond. Yankees win 2-1, and Andy Pettitte completes his career with a complete game.
It's crazy. Man, I just thank God for the opportunity to play this game and to pitch, and man, it's awesome. I'm just so thankful, to be able to do this. It just couldn't end any better. It's amazing.
For 15 of his 18 years in the big leagues, Andy Pettitte wore the pinstripes with dignity and class. 256 career victories, 19 postseason wins, the most all time, and 5 world championships. Truly a storied career that was enshrined in Monument Park on August 23rd, 2015.
It's special, it's humbling. It almost leaves me to be speechless because I never would have thought or never would have dreamed in a million years when I started my career in 1995 that's where it would have ended. I just feel very fortunate and very blessed.
I am truly a product of great people, a great family, great teammates, great fans, and a great organization.
Andy is one of the greatest Yankees. If you look at the era in which he pitched, it was one of the great eras in Yankee history, and he wasn't just a passenger, he was one of the conductors on that ride.
Thank you for this unbelievable honor, and God bless you all. Let's go Yanks. Get a W today, guys.
I want to be remembered as a guy that just went out there every day and just did my job and did it to the best of my ability.
This crowd and these Yankees appreciate the work of Andy Pettitte.
And I just wanted to be known as someone that was going to take the ball every 5th day and I was going to do my job no matter what.
And he's one of the greatest Yankee pitchers who ever lived.